Hi, welcome to another episode of Showcasing North Leeds, where I am on a mission to find all the local businesses in North Leeds and beyond. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Monika from Winstons Solicitors. Monika is a private client solicitor, and no one ever knows what that means. So basically, Monika deals with wills, trusts, probate, power of attorney, deputyships. Did I miss anything?
I think that's it, yeah.
That's it. And Monika's been doing it for 16 years now in total, with training and everything else. And before that, you had got a degree in psychology and you've been working in marketing for 7 years.
Yeah, that's right.
So how did you get into private client solicitor then?
I just decided one day I was bored of marketing and somebody thought I'd be a good lawyer, so I decided to retrain. Yeah, that's it really.
As simple as that?
Yeah, luckily my husband was pretty supportive and let me retrain and take time off, and it took a while, but it's worth it, and I've been doing it for 16 years now. So.
Okay, so you obviously enjoy it as well at the same time. With wills, I mean, it's obviously a big topic all times, and I always say this to people now. I'm 36 and I've got a will, but when is the best time to actually get a will?
Really, as soon as you turn 18.
Right, okay.
Because obviously nobody knows what's going to happen to them at any time. So you want to be prepared. You want to leave instructions for your loved ones so they know what to do after you've died. So we would say, at whatever age you are, it's the right time to do a will. Okay.
And then because for me, I hadn't got one until I think I might have been about 30. Something like that, I can't remember exactly. But how difficult is it to actually get one? Because a lot of people always think that they're invincible, nothing's ever going to happen to them. So how difficult is it? Because I thought it was a long process. I thought it was for old people only. So I'm saying that it's from 18 to the legal age of an adult.
Yeah.
What is it, or how difficult is it to actually make a will?
It's not difficult at all. You just have to think about who you would want to sort your affairs out once you've died and who you want to receive your assets. So I think quite often what people do is they make wills when they have children because that brings it to the forefront of their mind.
Yeah.
Or perhaps when they buy a house. So it might be that in your line of work people talk to you about it because suddenly they've got the biggest asset they've ever owned in their life. And they need to plan for it. So you can just call a solicitor and they'll write you up a will that can take as little as 2 weeks. Okay.
And is it expensive? I know obviously it ranges from solicitor to solicitor, but is it an expensive thing?
No, I mean it's usually in the range of a couple of £100. You can do it yourself, but if you want peace of mind that it's done properly, you might want to see a professional.
Right, okay. And then going on to the trust side of things as well, is that part, what is that, just for anyone who doesn't know? Yeah,
I mean, if you need to put something in trust for somebody, it might be because they aren't capable of looking after something themselves. You want to give somebody some money, but you want somebody to manage it for them. You might put it in a trust, right. And you have trusts that are while you're living, and also you can put a trust in your will as well, so that would only come into play after you died.
Right, okay. It sounds a bit technical now, too far,
yeah.
But it's best to speak to someone about it. And then one of the big things, so we deal with a lot of probate sales at the minute, and I think it's a big thing with probate because understanding, again, first of all, what is probate?
Probate is the process of administering an estate after somebody dies. So when someone dies, they've got things that have to be dealt with, their assets and debts. And then if you've got a will, you've got executors who do it, and they have to apply to the probate registry, which is the court for estates. And they get a grant of probate, which gives them the right to deal with it. So that's basically what it is.
So the executors are the people who are made in the will. So the person who makes the will passes on responsibility to certain people.
Yeah, if you want certain people to manage things, if you've got people you trust, you know, probably your partner, or if you're older, you might have grown-up children, or friends or family, or a solicitor if you've got complicated affairs, and they basically sort it all out after you've died.
Okay, and then with it then, like, because again this comes up, we get asked this quite a lot, with probate, can you still sell the asset, the home or the property, before you've got grant of probate?
Usually not. You usually need to have a grant of probate because the land registry wants to know you've got the right to sell that property, because obviously it'll be the dead person's name on the deeds.
Yeah.
So if you just come along and say, I want to sell this property, they'll say, well, who are you? So that's why you need a grant of probate.
Okay, and then how long does it take roughly to get that?
Quite a long time at the moment, because the probate registry has got some ridiculous backlog from COVID times. So it's something like 20 weeks.
It's 20?
Yeah.
So that's like 5 months roughly?
Yeah, so the sooner you get on with it, the better, really.
And then does it take, because there's people who've got, like, say, millions and millions of pounds worth of property and everything else, and they've got complicated estates and they've got more in there than others. Is it still the same amount of time for someone who's got, say, one property compared to someone who's got a few?
Why it might take longer in that case is usually because the people who have to do the application, so me and the executors, have more stuff to find out. So it'll be a harder job to do the application. The probate registry won't necessarily take any longer unless there's something that you have to explain to them that they don't understand. So you could have a small estate or a large estate, and it could still take 20 weeks, both.
Right, so it's more the application is what would take the greater...
Yeah, if there's inheritance tax and that kind of thing.
Right, okay, that's fine, that makes complete sense. And then as well, one of the things that you do is power of attorney. And again, for everybody, what is that?
So if you think about your will sorting stuff out after you've died, your power of attorney is there to sort stuff out whilst you're living. But it might be the case that you're either you've lost capacity because you've had an accident, or you've got dementia, or you had a stroke, something like that, and then you can't manage your affairs and you need somebody to do it for you. So you've appointed an attorney through a power of attorney.
Right.
Or it might just be when you get older, you know, you're in hospital for a month because you've had an operation or something, and you want somebody to deal with your finances whilst you're there. So you haven't lost capacity, but you just need the help. And you've picked someone to do that, and they've got the legal authority to do it.
So again, going back to discussing getting a will from like the age of 18, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is it wise to have a power of attorney as well, like just in case?
Well, yeah, because you could, without meaning to be too depressing, you could turn 18 and have an accident and lose capacity, and then who deals with your things? You know, your parents are no longer entitled to do that after you're 18.
Right.
So really, if everyone was very careful, they'd get a will and a power of attorney for their 18th birthday. Yeah. But most people, I mean, that's a depressing thought. But also, obviously, you have to think about, as you get older, different people in your life will help you more. So if you did that when you're 18, you're probably not married. Later on, you might get married and you might prefer your spouse to do that for you. But really, I mean, you can always update it and change it, so it's not a problem. But yeah, we kind of say, you know, don't wait. I think the thing that prompts people to do stuff like that, like I said, is getting married, having children, buying a house, a big life event, or maybe a family member dying or getting ill makes them think, I should do this.
So, like you said, not to be too depressing with it, but so your 18th birthday, you get excited because you're now an adult, you can legally drink. Most people drinking way before, but you can legally drink, and you should really be thinking about a will and power of attorney, just to put it to one side, I suppose. So you've got it done just to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And one of the big things I suppose at the minute is health, isn't it? Everyone's talking about health kicks and staying healthy, but you hear certain people who have obviously healthy all their lives and something still happens to them. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's the reason for it. And then touching on the last part, then you mentioned, or you told me that you do deputyships.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about what deputyships is?
Yeah, sure. So basically, with powers of attorney, whilst you've got a clear head, you know what you want, you decided for somebody to help you should that ever change. With deputyships, it's where you never got the chance to make a power of attorney. Something's happened to you and you can no longer have a say in your own financial or health affairs, in which case at that point your family or friends or even a professional like me might have to step in, and we apply to the Court of Protection and get a deputyship, which means that we're effectively like your attorneys. We're managing your finances or your health and welfare, but it's a court process and you haven't had a say in it because obviously you've lost capacity, and so it could be anyone. It could actually be somebody you don't want.
Right.
But you've got no say in that if you haven't got the ability to disagree.
Object, yeah.
So that's why we always say get a power of attorney, because at least you can choose who you want to act for you.
So then, for everyone listening now, going back to the very beginning, I suppose, it's with regards to the will, would you advise everyone, if they've not got one, to get one as soon as possible?
Yeah, because it just makes your loved ones, your people that are close to you, even like business partners and things like that, it makes their lives a lot easier when you die. So even if you think, I haven't got much, or they'll know what to do, it's comforting to people to have some instructions, and they can't guess what you would have wanted. Yeah. So you can say all kinds of things in your will. You can talk about what you'd want in your funeral, who you want to get, I don't know, your teddy bear collection or whatever, things that mean a lot to you that they might not know what to do with, and it's comforting to them. So even if you think it's not important to you, it really helped them. Yeah,
okay. And then I suppose the last question from me is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't asked that would help anybody listening today?
No, I think you've covered everything. I mean, I just think it's important to think about these things, even if it's uncomfortable. And the thing is, once you've done a will or a power of attorney, you can park it and forget about it until, the next big thing happens in your life, which might make you think about updating them, which is fine, and we can help you with that. But just don't put off today what you could do tomorrow. I would do it sooner rather than later, and you've got peace of mind then, and you've also looked after your friends and family, and that's a comfort. If you're facing something hard, you know that they're going to be okay as well. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Well, thank you so much for clearing all that up and explaining it in the best way you possibly can do. I hope everyone does understand, and of course they can get in touch with you at Winstons Solicitors and to ask me further questions. Great. So thank you for joining me today. Thanks, Monika. Levi.